Hey Doug.
Hi Sean.
So we're shooting a few videos here for the state of the real estate market in 2011. And specifically we wanted to shoot a special one here for should you get into real estate investments in 2011.
Right.
Okay.
And what brought this on is that over the holidays I was listening to Robert Kiyosaki, which I highly recommend people pick up his books and his audio books. And Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Right.
If you haven't heard of it, that's his whole series of not only about real estate, but just as increasing your net worth.
Okay. So should we get into real estate investments in 2011?
Why not? Real estate
Okay.
is always the best.
Okay. Why is that?
Not always the best, but always a good alternative. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But my point being is that either if you haven't looked into it, look into it for the tax benefits and all the other benefits to build net worth on your side of the fence.
Okay.
And also, if you already own some real estate, and this is what I'm thinking because I own some real estate too, I'm thinking of upgrading.
Okay.
And what that means is maybe upgrading from my current 4-unit apartment or apartment complex to an 8-unit apartment, or maybe going from a 4-unit to a small commercial building, or from a small commercial building to a bigger commercial building.
Okay.
And so by listening to this audio version of Rich Dad Poor Dad and his series of tapes on this on CDs, Robert Kiyosaki is just saying that we should be always on the lookout to upgrade our financial situation through our investments. And one of the investments that I'm talking here, of course, since I'm in real estate, is about real estate. And I think that has there's a lot of merit to that, to really seriously consider how you can benefit from having what we call cash flow. And from real estate, believe it or not, you can have a good cash flow. We know we have many clients who have good cash flow from their real estate investments right now.
Okay.
And some people are saying, how does that happen? Well, that's maybe another topic for more detail, but
But
now...
part of it is, I mean, if you're thinking about real estate investing, pretty much anybody these days who's going to be a real estate investor, they either need a partner with a lot of money, or they got to have quite a big chunk of change themselves.
They got to have some...
I mean, this isn't like the days of yore, 5-7 years ago. You could do a no-doc loan and buy a second property, right? That you think you might live in, and you get this house for 3% down or something.
So the good part of the real estate investing right now is that in the past it was always hard to match up the price you're paying for the property to the cash flow that you could generate from that property. That was hard to match up, the rental. It's a lot easier now because of the level of real estate prices right now. Properties that were selling 3 or 4 years ago at $200 are selling less, a lot less, and it makes the way you can make a positive income cash flow out of a property much easier. Right. So now is the time.
So the purchase prices have gone down. I think in some markets rental prices have come down, but maybe not as much.
Not as much.
Proportionally.
Right.
So it's the purchase pricing is a little more in line because a lot of people have been knocked out of the market due to non-qualification for a regular loan.
Right. And we're waiting to hear some new underwriting guidelines by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that could hurt the number of buyers who can qualify for a mortgage, considering their past history, their credit history. And it sounds like they're going to make it harder for those people, if they've had problems in the past with bankruptcies or foreclosures, they're going to make it harder for those people to buy homes. And to me, in residential real estate, that just makes, there's going to be maybe less buyers out there that can qualify for a loan.
And we're talking a lot about rentals because in the past, sometimes people would think of real estate investment a lot about flipping.
Yes.
Certainly there are some flippers out there who still have the cash to buy a house super cheap and have the resources to flip it.
Right.
But mostly we're talking about you're going to be holding on to these.
Long term. That's what I'm talking about. Long term.
Like 10 plus years maybe.
Yeah, and not necessarily the same property. And that's where I think that's a very interesting thing about real estate. The government has given people who own real estate certain advantages over and above other types of investments. It's just actually great. So I think now is the time to consider that if you haven't in the past and haven't invested, or if you are an investor or have some investment properties, to either upgrade those properties or maybe add a few more to your portfolio.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thanks, Doug.
You bet.